Topic which we are going to study today is about lymphatic system, right? Do you know lymphatic system or not? If you look in the body, so in the body we have different system, right? So like the system which is for blood, that is called circulatory system, right? So like same like circulatory system, there is another system which have some fluid, right? Or the system of fluid beside the blood, that is called circulatory system. A question: what is the function of the lymphatic system? So first we will study what is lymphatic system. Then we will come to the function of lymphatic system. The lymphatic system is a network of vessel. As if you look to the circulatory system, so circulatory system is also a network, right? So here it is the network of vessel, nodes, and organ that collect the lymph that leave the capillary, screens it for microorganism, and return it to the circulatory system. Here, if you look, so if you compare it with the circulatory system, the lymphatic system. So lymphatic systems work with the circulatory system, right? Like circulatory system is circulating blood throughout the body, but with the help of arteries, veins, and capillaries, and heart also, right? But if you look here in the lymphatic system, so it is a network of vessels, right, and nodes, and also organs. Now the function of lymphatic system is related to what? It's also related to the somehow to the blood. The lymph that leave the capillaries. Lymph are those blood, are we can say those fluid which sips out of the blood vessel. Like we have, if you look, we have blood vessel, right? So blood is running in the blood vessel, right? From the heart to all part of the body. In that time when it's running from heart to all part of the body, there are certain blood which can move out from the blood vessel, right? Like from the artery, from the vein, from the capillaries. So when it moves out from the body, now this blood, it's a fluid, it become lymph, right? The place from which it's going to seep out, that place is called lymph node or lymph. Now the function for the lymphatic system is that the lymphatic system are the nodes, or we can say the vessel of lymphatic system. Now the function of these vessel, node, or organs, they have to check the blood which sips out from the vessel, right? So they have to check it whether this blood which is sipped out from the blood vessel, right, it contain any disease, like it contain any microorganism, it contain any waste product, or it contain any other thing which is not good for the circulatory system. So lymphatic system will check the blood, and when it check the blood, if it is fine, so it will return it back to the circulatory system. As the blood passes through the capillary, some blood cell and component of the plasma move through the capillary walls and into the fluid between the cell, carrying nutrient, dissolved oxygen, and salts. As I told you that when the blood is moving in the blood vessel, right, throughout the body, so some blood, they are sipped out from the vessels, right, into the fluid between cells, right? So the fluid, as I told you that there are fluids in the body. Almost the human body is made up of 90% or 60 to 90% of the water. So all of them are fluid. So the blood will sip into the fluid or the space between the cells. So now it will contain what? These sipping will be contain nutrients, it will contain dissolved oxygen, and it will contain even what? It will contain even salts, right? If you look to the part of the lymphatic system, right? So it is colored all the parts, right? The color which you can see in the green, that's all are what? These all are the part of lymphatic system. So if you compare this with the circulatory system, do we have circulatory system here? No, we don't have, right? So if you compare with the circulatory system, almost it is the same, right? It is almost in all part of the body. You can see it is present in all part of the body. Now the part you have, so starting from heart, right? Thymus is also a part, subclavian vein is also a part, spleen, lymph node, and lymph vessel. But mainly we are studying what? These vessel-like structure which we know, right? So vessel-like structure, these are what? These are either lymph node or either lymph vessel, right? These two, right? But beside this, spleen, heart, thymus, and subclavian vein, these are also the part of what? These are also the part of the lymphatic system. Most of this fluid known as lymph, as I told you that the let's suppose we have artery or vein, right? So the fluid or the blood which sip out from the blood from the circulatory system, we will not call it blood then. Then we will call it lymph, right? Then we will call that fluid lymph. It is reabsorbed into the capillaries. I told you that it will be reabsorbed in the capillary, but when the lymphatic system check it, that there isn't any microorganism, right? Now it's free of microorganism, so it will return back to the circulatory system. Mean to the capillaries, so capillary is a part of circulatory system, but not all of it. All of it will not return. The rest goes into the lymphatic system, a network of vessel. So now some of them which are clear, it will be returned back to what? It will be returned back to the circulatory system, but not all, right? Some of that lymph will go through what? To the lymphatic system, right? So lymphatic system is made from what? A network of vessel, which is made up of what? Lymph nodes and organs that collect the lymph. So organ we have vessels, lymph vessel, right? So lymph node are the point which receive the lymph, right? And lymph vessel are the vessel, the thread-like structure present throughout the body, which collect the lymph and which circulate the lymph in the body. Organ that collect the lymph that leaves the capillary, screen it for microorganism and return it to the circulatory system. So this system which you have in the body, right? These lymph node and lymph vessel, it will screen the blood. Sorry, not the blood. It will screen the lymph, right? It will screen the lymph and screen for what? Screen for microorganism, for disease, for waste product, right? For any drugs or medicine. So it will screen it for poisonous thing, right? And then it will return back into the circulatory system. The lymphatic system is also involved in the absorption of nutrient and the immunity. Now, if you look, so lymphatic system has many roles, right? Related to different systems. So we will study in 2-3 systems, the role of lymphatic system. The absorption of nutrients and in immune system. So in 2 systems we are going to study in the absorption of nutrient and in the immunity, meaning the immune system. So role of lymphatic system in the circulation or in the circulatory system. Lymph collect in a system of lymphatic capillaries that slow conduct it into large and larger lymph vessel, right? So if you look here, the function of lymphatic system is what? To collect, first function is to collect lymph, right? Or the fluid. To lymph collect in the system of the lymphatic capillaries that slowly conduct it into larger and larger lymph vessel. Let's suppose you have any lymph node, right, in any part of the body, right? So this lymph node will first collect the lymph, and later on this lymph node, right, these dot which you can see, these are the small dot, these are lymphs, right? It will give it to the lymph vessel, right? So lymph node is small and lymph vessel is large. Lymph vessel have the valves similar to the valves in the large vein, right? So if you look to the lymph vessel, so these all lymph vessel contain valves, right? Wall, as same like the one which we have in the circulatory system, like the vein in the veins, that move lymph along and prevent it from flowing back. So the function of wall, if you remember in the veins, right? We are saying in the veins that the function of wall is to prevent the flow back of blood. So same, the valves will have the function, right? It will prevent the flow back of the lymph, right? So the lymph will also move in one direction as the blood is moving in one direction in the veins. Pressure on the lymph vessel from the surrounding skeleton muscle help move lymph through the system into large and larger ducts, right? If you look here, so there will be pressure on the lymph vessel from which? From the surrounding skeleton muscles which is present throughout the body, right? Almost skeleton muscle is present in all the body, right? We have studied in the skeletal system when we studied the skeletal muscles. So the skeletal muscle will provide or will put pressure on what? Will put pressure on the lymph vessel. So when the skeletal muscle put pressure on the lymph vessel, so it will pump the blood toward large ducts, right? Toward what? Toward large ducts or toward large lymph vessel. These ducts return lymph to the blood. These lymph return lymph to the blood through opening the subclavian veins just below the shoulder, right? Subclavian vein we have this, right? On these points, if you look to the clavicle, right? Near the clavicle bones we have what? Near the clavicles, just near the clavicle bones we have the subclavian vein, right? So now the subclavian vein is, you can say, is the major duct for what? For the lymphatic system. So all the blood, all the lymph, it will be collected from all the body and it will return to what? It will return to the subclavian vein, which is a main duct. Whenever injury or disease block lymphatic vessel, lymph can accumulate in tissue, causing swelling called edema. Let's suppose there disorder or any injuries comes, any disease come in the lymphatic system, right? So lymphatic system are like tube, right? So when a tube block, what will happen? Let's suppose this you have a lymphatic system, right? In the hands you have a lymphatic system, but it block at this point, right? And subclavian vein is here, right? So the lymph which is going to produce in this part of the hand, right? So it will not come to the subclavian vein, right? So it will accumulate here, right? Let's suppose at any point it will accumulate. So if it is accumulate at any point, so mean it will swell, right? And swelling which cause due to the lymph, that swelling is called edema. Or we can say the swelling which comes due to any fluid, accumulation of fluid in the body, like blood, right? Different kind of edema then we have. Edema. Clear? Now that was the rule in the circulation, rule in the nutrient absorption. Rule of lymphatic system in the nutrient absorption. The lymphatic system also play an important role in the absorption of nutrients, right? The first major function, it is having the screening of microorganisms, right? Screening of microorganisms. Second function, it has role in the circulation, right? Third function, it has important in the absorption of nutrient. A system of lymph vessel that runs alongside the intestines pick up fats and fat-soluble vitamins from the digestive tract and transport these nutrients into the bloodstream. So, related to the absorption of nutrient, the function of the lymphatic system, the lymphatic system which is near to the intestine, right? Which is near to the intestine in this part of the body, right? Down in the intestine. So it will absorb fat or fat-soluble vitamins. Those vitamins which are fat-soluble or fats, it will absorb it from the intestine or near the intestines, and it will give their fats toward the bloodstream, right? Bloodstream mean blood vessels, right? And it will be circulated throughout the body. So mean that lymphatic system has rules in the nutrient absorption or nutrient circulation. It will absorb it from the small intestine and it will give it to the blood system or to the blood vessels. So blood vessel will then circulate it in the entire body. The next rule it has in immunity, right? The most important, I think, is this one is the most important, right? Hundreds of small bean-shaped enlarged called lymph nodes, right? In the body we have hundreds of small lymph nodes, bean-shaped. If you look here, we have dot structure, right? Throughout this, the dot structure which you can see, right? These dot structure are bean-shaped, right? These are called nodes, right? Which receive the lymph. That is called node, right? Lymph node. Are scattered along the lymph vessel throughout the body. You can see it is present throughout the body, right? It is present in almost all part of the body. Lymph nodes act as a filter, right? The first point, if you remember, we studied that it is screening the blood. I mean, it is acting as a filter. Lymph node act as a filter. Trapping microorganism mean it can trap microorganism, strike cancer cells, it can even filter the cancer cell, and debris as a lymph flow, through them. So mean if you look to the nodes, so nodes are working as a filter for many diseases, like those diseases which is caused due to microorganism, right? Disease, the most important, the straying cancer cell, it can filter the cancer cell, right? And debris as a lymph, the remedies, right? Through them. White blood cell inside lymph node engulf. White blood cell inside the lymph node engulf or otherwise destroy the cellular tract, right? So white blood cell which is present inside the lymph node, right? So the function of white blood cell which is present inside the lymph node, they will engulf, mean they will eat the microorganism, they will destroy the microorganism, right? So it, huh? Yes, toxic material, microorganism, or any cell which is not wanted by the body. So it will be trashed out, it will be destroyed out. When a large number of microorganisms are trapped in a lymph nodes, the node become enlarged. The swollen glands that are symptoms of the certain kinds of infection are actually swollen lymph node, right? So in the bodies, we have sometimes swollen glands, right? Or swollen limbs. We have in the body most of the time, right? So why we have these swollen glands or swollen nodes or swollen parts in the body? Because this place or the place where there is any swollen part, right? Let's suppose we have on the hand or any part. It means that this gland trapped many more microorganisms, right? And it is present inside it. So that's why it is being swollen. Now, the thymus and the spleen play important role in the immune function of the lymphatic system. The major organs, if you say so, the major organs are spleen and thymus, right? Spleen and thymus. These are what? These are the major parts which play important role in the immune response, right? The immune function. The thymus located beneath the sternum, right? The bone which is present on the chest bone, right? Which we call this. This is called sternum, right? So thymus is present just beneath on the back of the sternum. Is where T lymphocytes mature before they can function in the immune system. So thymus is a part of the body or a part of the immune system, or you can say a part of the lymphatic system, right? Where the T lymphocyte. If you remember the function of T lymphocyte in the previous lesson, that T lymphocyte are what? These are the fighter of immune system, right? So the fighter of immune system, T lymphocytes are get mature. You can say get trained in the thymus. Right? Blood. So mean the function of thymus is what? They are making the T lymphocyte mature. Mean they are training the soldier of immune system. Blood flow through the spleen where it cleans of the microorganism and other debris. So the blood will move their blood which collect what? Which collect microorganism, which collect debris, which collect cancer cells, right? It will be given to the spleen, right? Or even if there is any toxic medicine you have used, right? There is any toxic food you have used. So it will all be collected by this and it will be given to the spleen. The spleen also remove old or damaged blood cell and store platelets. Now the function of spleen is not only that it clean the blood. Besides this, it can also degrade those blood cells which are old, like 120 days, 118 days. So it can also degrade those blood. It can also, and it can even store platelets with it, right? So these are the function of thymus and spleen, right? So if you have any question, you can ask me. How much time? We have 7 minutes, but do we need to take this or we'll stop? Tomorrow we'll take this. This is enough for today.